I watched the first movie to know where this is going. Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? Black Xana here with another video review, and today we're going to be taking a look at is the Transformers Generations, Titans Return, Voyager Class, Doomshot, and Megatron. So here we are, and there they are, and first and foremost is a quick look at the packaging, and I see Megatron's already tilting over. Yeah, don't worry, we'll get to him soon. So here we have is the box with Megatron's head being attached to his body. Nice artwork though, I really do like it. Got Transformers with the Generations logo on the side. Titans Return. Of course it's showing off purple. On this side of the box you've got a nice artwork of Megatron's head being attached to his body. So this is a little hard to get into frame right now. You'll have to forgive me. On the other side of the box, you've got a Decepticon logo inside a meteor. Crash landing. And it's pretty much the same thing on the top of the box. On the bottom, not much. On the back, you've got obligatory product shots of Megatron in his robot mode, and in two vehicle forms. Hey, he's a Voyager class, so he can triple change. And of course, he does come with the Doomshot as his little headmaster, who can attach to almost about any deluxe Voyager or leader class Transformers out there. If it was a Legion class, yeah, not happening. So, different sizes, use interchangeable heads. Oh, warning! So, anyway, that's about it for the box itself. However, it's a bit top in front. Let's see if I can. Using the power of Titan Masters, the Decepticons rise up to destroy the Autobots. Doomshot ignites a super fusion reaction in the fire blast of other bots. He can turn the cannon of Megatron into a weapon of immeasurable destructive force. Wow, now that's a mouthful. So, anyway, once again, that's it for the box. So, alley-oop. Whoops. I'm gonna have to clean that up. So, and of course, he does come with a nice collector's artwork card. So it's basically just Megatron's head either detaching or attaching to his body. It looks like it's going to be attaching, but always hard to say with these things. On the other side of the card, you've pretty much got your stats for Megatron and Doomshot. So for Megatron on this, strength is at 10, speed is at 4, I think his brain power is at 10, and firepower at 10. Whoosh! For Doomshot, let's see, added on, strength at 4, speed at 2, thinking power at 1, firepower 5. So grand total on this card is about 14, 6, 11, and 15. Whoa. Well, I don't know if that's better or for worse with Prime, but Megatron, he takes the cake. That's enough with the card. So, here we have is Megatron in his jet mode, and I gotta say, I do like it. His little headmaster Doomshot, he's about a little guy, and he carries Megatron's face. So, I would like this a lot more if it was a bit painted. So, although he's okay. Quick articulation on Doomshot is, well, it's basically about just any headmaster. Ball-jointed arms, right at the shoulder, a bit of a leg and knee bend, though they're all tiny joints. It's normally meant for transformation purposes unless you're trying to get him to sit down on a chair, and this hardly works. And of course, the head is on a ball joint itself. You can have him look up, look down, though not very far. Or you can just twist the head and have him look elsewhere. Hey, what is that over there? What is that? So that's basically it for Doomshot. Megatron does come with a couple of accessories. One would be his fusion cannon. And it's basically just a gray piece of plastic painted over with black. I think that's a black onyx. It feels really well, it's shiny. I'll give you that. Bit glossy. It feels quite sturdy. A bit hard. Although I'd be careful with this if it gets stuck in anything, otherwise it may end up breaking. Speaking of which, it does come with an additional gun. You have a bit of a hole here for Doomshot to sit in. So just bring in our headmaster. Straighten out the legs, close up the arms. Just sit him in right there, and basically done. But about, I think, 2 places where you can hold him. And you can combine the 2 weapons however you like. I mean, for starters, there's a straight cannon, so fire in the hole! Or take them apart. Couple of pegs. And a couple of holes on top. Same here. Just stick the backside in first. Give it a few twists. Push in the front, and there you go. So that's basically it for the weapons. I do like them. Let's get this little headmaster out. There you go. So we'll just set these off to the side for right now. Now, I know I have a way of getting sidetracked, so let's just get down to the figure itself. Starting with Megatron in his jet mode. So, I have to say his jet mode it's quite good. I want to say that the shape is more of a military grade, I think. But you've got to hand it. Hasbro really outdone themselves. So, even though there's a lot of kibble going on with this toy. I mean, you got tank tracks on the bottom there, and definitely a robotic hand. I thought they had a cover for this. You know, I would have expected at least a clear dome for the cockpit, but this will have to do. It works. As far as this figure goes, there is some molded detail going down on the bottom with more kibble. I mean, yeah, tank tracks are mostly molded, but it does come with some nice wheels, so that's a plus. Uh, on the bottom for this jet mode, there are some molded wheels, but I think it's molded into a turret for tank mode. However, it does look good. Now, the only complaint I have on this toy are, well, if you're seeing it as much as I am, there are stickers peeling on here, and I can tell you it's happening right on the wings, and I don't like it. So, yeah, factory stickers, I should say. Why am I always getting tongue-tied? It's making me sound insane. Oh, well, at least I'm reviewing a Decepticon, so no complaints. But, yeah, stickers are definitely peeling very easily. You can see it's happening on the Decepticon logo on the nose cone. Now, you can do a bit of weapon storage with this particular mode, so let's bring in the fusion cannon and the extra gun. So I think I'll start in the back. So what's going to happen here is there are about 2 holes here, and I know they look a bit oddly shaped for some reason. And there's a hole in the back here. What's that's going to do is that these 2 pegs here are going to tab in up front, and this little handle here is going to tab in the back. So what I'm going to do is do the front first, and then back. So there's that. Come to the underside and attach the fusion cannon to how do you want to call this? a little mini machine gun turret. I don't know. Oh, what the heck? I'm just gonna put it straight on. So, right there. And now you have more of a jet that's with what's the term I'm looking for? Overpowered with firepower? I'm not sure. However, there is one other use on storage that you can do. So what I'm going to do is just remove this, and there's a little hole down in the nose cone here, and that's where this handle-ish tab can also plug in. So just squeeze it in like so. I want to say it's off balance at this point, but yeah, this is something you can definitely do. So it works. So, I do happen to like it. Now, as far as the this little dome here, what you can actually do is that you can open it up. Oh, I may want to remove the gun first. Oops. So, open this up, and what it does, it reveals a sort of a cockpit. So let's bring back in Doomshot. Make sure his arms are down. Put him into a singing position and just put him right in like so. Close it up. And now it looks like Megatron's little headmaster is going for a trip up in the sky. I wonder if he's going to shoot down some Autobots. And of course, just plug that right back in. So that this basically works. I can tell you I do like it, and I can notice a few kibble bits that is showing off Megatron's robotic parts up on the surface, and I'm not referring to the hands I showed earlier, but it'll do. This will do. Now it's time to get into Megatron's second vehicle form. So I've already taken the liberty of removing Doomshot and as well as his weapons, just to get things prepped up and started. What I'm going to do here is open up the cockpit section, fold in the nose cone, close it right back up. Oh, there we go. Okay. So that part's done. I'm going to come to the wings and start with the back. Just fold them up. I'm going to fold up the midsection, at least the bigger wings. So I'm going to come straight down. I'm going to lift up this turret all the way and spin it around 180. Flip over the front section of the jet, so it'll become the rear of the tank. Get that done, and bring this back down. So main section is done. Still got to deal with the sides. So flip this over again. Untab. Oop! Not from there. There we go. Untab the... Oh, for goodness sakes. You're never going to work with me. Fine. Untab the sides of the wings. So. And swing it all the way around. So what you do is untab it from this point, because there's a little peg here and a slot here that you undo from the rear of the jet. Swing it over 180, and what's going to happen is that tab we unpegged is going to peg in to a slot over here. So that in. Here you try to fiddle with things around. Swing the rear tail fins. They'll become the front of the tank. I'm sorry, I don't know where that came from. Tongue-tied. Unfold the entire caterpillar assembly, and how you do that is, well, there's a sort of a oddish peg here that just goes into this hole right here. Now that part is going to be set the same for the other side. You can see where that fist is. Just going to tab in to this little peg right here. So let's try to get things lined up. Push that in. Is lined up properly. Okay. So our tank is coming along. Next up, take the wing here, fold down, fold once again, and a third time, and you've got one side of the tank done. Okay. Second verse, same as the first. And always be careful with the factory stickers. They always like to peel. Let's see, untab, swing around, back in you go. Bring this up, fold all out. In you go. Come on. Oops. Ah! Now here's something I hate that happens. Oh, brother. Okay, it seems like mine likes to pop off for some reason. At least that little wing in the section here. I'm going to have to get that fixed. This all the way down, and there you go. And there you go. There is Megatron in his tank mode. And I've got to say, I happen to like this one. Unlike Megatron's jet mode, his tank mode is, well, I've got to say it looks very nice. Big difference with it is the mobility. Unlike the molded wheels that are kind of on the main turret, this one comes with a pair of working wheels, and I've got to say it rolls very nice. I like it. Now I've already gone and placed the two weapons on. This is a good way for weapon storage, as well for Doomshot to be sitting in the the turret section. That's strictly his place. Now, there is one thing I did forget to show off while Megatron was in his jet mode, that there are a couple of pegs on top. And let's see. I'm going to bring in Diak from Optimus Prime. It's basically the same idea, although it feels rather a bit loose when you try to put them on. So, and it's basically universal for about any headmaster. So, oops, don't need you falling over. Try this again. There we go. So we have two headmasters that are practically enemies to each other. But it still works out. So, anywho, the biggest problem I have with this tank mode for right now is, well, it's the parts that look like a jet. I mean, for instance, in the front you got a couple of thrusters that look like they're about to burn someone. Not to mention the folded up wings on the sides. They look like they're ready to pop out and do some damage. But then again, what can you do? So, back-wise, just a whole bunch of robot kibble, but I kind of like it. And it's quite doable. So, articulation for this, the turret can rotate about a full 360. And if you don't feel too comfortable with this added weapon on top, because I know that some tanks do carry them, you can always just take this off, and you might want to do that a bit. I'm just going to pop the whole thing off and careful. A few twists and turns, and it's off. So if you don't want that extra weapon there, you can always take it off and have it as a regular tank. So now it comes for the third transformation, and that will be Megatron's robot mode. So I've already taken the weapons off and Doomshot out of the cockpit area from the turret. So we'll get to him later. So what we're going to do is basically take Megatron, come to the rear, and unfold the wings. Actually, we'll want to turn this turret all the way around first. Untab, bring it all the way front, and what's going to happen is that there's a small tab here, and that's going to peg into this little slot just behind the jet's cockpit. So just bring it all the way forward, like so. Now we bring up the wings. This will form an enormous kibble-like backpack. I don't know why though. I'll just do. Come to the front of the tank and flip out these panels. This tab here is going to go into this little hole right here. Really don't care for these stickers. They're annoying. And from here, what you want to do, if you're having trouble getting the fist out, don't just go yanking it. What you want to do is twist this part where the back fins are slowly while pulling out the fist. And I'll just bring the whole thing right out. So when you got that done, bring the entire arm assembly up on this sort of a double hinge joint. The peg is just going to go into this little spot right here. So bring that up. Once you got that done, flip this panel over and twist this on a swivel, and you basically got an arm done. Second verse, same as the first. Flip the panel open. There we go. Bring that out. All the way up. And of course, flip that. Oop. Starting to get things class in here. And there you go. There's your other arm. Bring these two tail fins up. They'll just fold into the sides. You can have him going like this if you want, but that's strictly your prerogative. The only reason I bring these up is because there are a couple of panels here. So what I will do to show that, I'm going to unpeg them together. There we go. Grab one out. Come to the front. Get the other. Now, how these stay into a certain place, let me see here. There's sort of like a half tab here. That'll go into a slot here. And also what happens when you try to put these together for either tank mode or the Megatron's jet mode, You want this little sort of bit of a big tab to peg into this large slot here. I'm going to move this. But you also want a certain tab also slotted into the upper part of the leg. So I'll show that as soon as just a minute. Just come to the back, open up this back panel, flip out the thruster that will turn into a foot, come into the front, and this is what I meant from that little tab in the upper part of the leg. So I'll bring this part out. That little tab is pegged in right there, and you want to make sure it's fastened secure when you're going into vehicle mode. Otherwise, the back panels are just going to spring right open if it's not in there. So do that with caution. So as we're changing this into a leg, we're going to move the tab that was from here into a slot. Let me see. It should be right there in the joint if you can just see it. Right over there. So once you got that in, come to the back and just close up that panel. There you go. You've got Megatron's right leg. Second verse, same as the first. So once again, bring this out. Slip this out. Extend it all the way. Close it right back up. Okay, so now we have a pair of legs for Megatron. Now you're kind of wondering why I left this panel up there. Well, it was to show off that little clip in his pelvis. Well, there's a main reason for it. It's basically his chest cover that covers a certain switch right over here. Because if this little switch is covered, you won't be able to access it in his robotic form. So what you're going to do, instead of closing it all the way, just hit the switch and it looks like you get two little mini speakers, or what are they? Rocket launchers? Sonic disruptors? I don't know. So just bring up the panel on the double hinge. And as far as you're almost basically done, let's bring in the two weapons here, combine them. That'll form his long-barreled fusion cannon. I like to think of this as the extra stock, and just peg that onto his right arm, or on his left, whichever works, so long as it's pegged into the hole. And that's basically done for the body. Now, as you already know, Doomshot forms the head. So, fold him in half, makes a head, put him straight on. Straight on. Come on. Oh, I always hate this part. There we go. See? That works. Now, between you and me, I kind of like this version of Megatron. Despite being at times returned, he looks like a G1-esque version of himself in robot mode. And I'm not just saying that because of the Decepticon emblems and the weird, I don't know what kind of stickers they are on him. I want to say it's from that Walter P60 or something. I really don't know my weapons. Oh well. But still, He does look good. The only problem with this little backdraw is, well, it's the molded kibble of tank parts on his arms. So, oh, at least I'm not going to complain about that. Now, there is one thing I do like about this line, is that, let's see here, I'm going to bring in a headless Optimus Prime. So I'll just move him to the side. And what you can do about this, let's also bring in Diak in head form. So you can swap heads around. You also want to be careful because sometimes they don't like to, there we go. They like to fit right in and they don't pop out very easily. So sometimes it takes a while to break them in. So, I've got to say, this looks a bit silly, but I am liking it. I'm very much liking it. I'm going to have to get more headmasters. Although, I'm not going to push my luck, though. So, articulation for this Warlord Tyrant. I'll start down from the bottom and work my way up. For starters, he's got a 90-degree knee bend, thigh swivel for 360 duration. Legs can go about forward, backward, in and out. No waist swivel, since the entire torso section is basically solid like this for transformation purposes. Let's see here. He's got an elbow bend, an arm swivel. I wish he had more of a wrist swivel, but nah. For some reason, Hasbro decided not to give him that. In and out shoulder movement. And about... Oh, what is... Okay, so he can do... His arms can go back. Let's see, full 180 plus 45. And about a 225 degree arm rotation. I wish he could do a 360, but no, not really. No. I won't complain. And as far as the head, I'm going to have to fold these things in first. Okay? No offense, I don't like them. So, I'll just keep them folded in inside that little compartment. Whoop! Don't you dare fall on me. And now where was I? Articulation. Right. So, already did most of the body. His head, because it's on a Times Return Headmaster, it can basically do a 360 spin. However, it cannot look up or down. So, this is basically what we get. Now, as far as the Times Return series is going, I do like it. I mean, being as a Transformer fan, who wouldn't want to collect this version of Megatron? I like the detail that's going in. The black, the gray, even the red. I think that's a light gray, although I'm not really sure, though. But still, it looks really good. The only problem I have is this. It's the dang stickers on the wings. Although, this does make quite the backpack. Oh. So if you were looking to grab this for your collection, I'd say, why not? So in any case, this is Black Xana saying, tower deactivated, and I will see you all until next time. Bye-bye.
Say your prayers, Megatron, 'cause at the end of this day, one shall stand, and one shall fall. What a joke, Prime. Why throw your life away so recklessly? That's a question you should... Wait a minute. Have you been working out lately? You seem a little more, beefier than I remember. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Thought I'd give myself a reformat since that old body of mine was starting to, come undone. So I thought I'd get myself some new oil, scan a few new vehicles, and, start hitting the gym. So what'd you think? It's good. It's good. You look great, even. Terrific. Although, mind if I point out one little thing? Go ahead. Be my guest. Buckethead, Buckethead, Megatron's a Buckethead, 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 Megatron's a Buckethead. Barricade! Get over here! I told you this wouldn't work! Barricade!